Oh, it's motherfucking Morphin time. Funny how I say it's Morphin time and I got on a pink shirt when really the Red Ranger was my favorite and the Green Ranger. But if you want to get technical, my favorite is when the Red Ranger had the Green Ranger shoulder pads and his flute. But you wouldn't know nothing about that unless you really watch Power Rangers series like I watch Power Rangers series. Alright, so Mighty Morphin Power Rangers the movie. If you know anything about Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, this movie follows the original, the origin story of the Power Rangers as we know it today. So basically it's these 5 teens, they're misfits, and they stumble upon these power crystals which imbue them with all this power and strength and superhuman abilities, and they meet this gigantic floating face and this robot named Alpha 5, and the face name is Zordon, and then they basically have to save the world from evil. Let me start off by saying that there have been a lot of nostalgia movies out lately, but this one here takes the cake. I was a die-hard Mighty Morphin Power Ranger fan. I mean, I didn't watch them all. I watched Mighty Morphin, and I think I watched Zeo with the Gold Ranger. I think that's the one. But Mighty Morphin was my shit. So safe to say when this movie came out, I was going whether it sucked or whether it did good. And I have to tell you, it did not let me down. Now, because this movie is such a big deal as part of my childhood, I want to start off with the things I didn't like. So the main problem I had with this movie was Rita. Now, if you watch Power Rangers, you know that it was very childish and comic booky. They had over-the-top antics, and when they got hit, they would do a full twist and fall. And Rita was always, make my monster grow. And in this movie, they actually made it more mature, but Rita didn't become more mature. And they got a great actress to play her. I can't remember her name right now, but she stuck with the comic booky feel, and I feel like it was out of place for this movie. But I mean, it didn't wreck the movie. It's just something that I know. All right, so now that I got that out the way, let's talk about the stuff I did like. I think that all of the Rangers in this movie did a wonderful job. None of them are really big name people, but I feel like after watching this movie, they will have future roles because the acting was spot on. Now, in this movie, there is some action, but it's not action packed because like I said, it's the origin story of it, so it's a lot of character development, and I think the character development in here was amazing. It was some of the best I've seen. I mean, because for a large part of the movie, that's all you have to go on, and I found myself for a large part of the movie really engaged and really into it. I wanted to know more about them. I wanted to know their backstory. I wanted to see them bond and come together and become the Power Rangers, and this movie did amazing on that. They had an interesting take on Zordon. If you watch the show, you know he was this big floating face in the tube. But on here they did a little bit different. I won't spoil it for you, but I actually liked it. And Alpha 5 was Alpha 5 from the show, really. He wasn't as comic booky because, like I said, they made it a little more serious. But I really enjoyed the Alpha 5 in here, too. And although all the Rangers did a good job, and I really liked Alpha 5 and Zordon, I have to say that my favorite character in this movie was the Blue Ranger. Yes, I'm a huge Red Ranger fan, but I found myself liking the Blue Ranger the most. It's like he brought the most depth of character to the screen. He had a lot of great comedic relief, and it's just, his character was just perfect for the movie, and I really like to see that. And plus, they made the black guy the Blue Ranger to try to avoid any kind of racial tension. I didn't care one way or another. Now, as far as the pacing of this movie goes, like I said, it's not action-packed, but it has action sprinkled throughout so that the movie is really enjoyable the whole time. And when it's not full of action, they throw in the right amount of humor to keep you engaged with the movie. And then the character development is just, it's flawless to me. I mean, I can't complain about it at all. So the pacing of this movie was just fine. Now, as far as the visuals in this movie go, they did a upgraded version of the Power Rangers, which we all knew they were going to do that, and I really liked it. Now, they did bring a lot of the aspects of the original Power Rangers back. I mean, like, you know, when they got hit in here, they still did the 360 flips and over-the-top dramatics, and the fighting was all super theatrical, and they would say the little corny one-liners, like this one part where they're fighting a putty and they pull his head off, and they're like, hey, heads up, you know, so that stuff really brought me back. And, you know, they even played the theme song. So I was like, yes, there we go. So all nostalgia pieces were in here. So the visuals were great. All right, all in all, y'all, this was the origin movie. They had great character development, great acting. The action in here was just fine. The visuals looked fine. I mean, you can't complain about them. The pace of the movie was great. I mean, they picked it up when they needed to, and they slowed it down to really develop everything and make it a true origin story. And they touched on every nostalgia part that I could imagine, except they didn't pull the Morphers out. I wanted the Morphers, but I can live without it. So with all that being said, I definitely got to say that this is movie magic must see. All right, so that about does it for this one. So for the comment convo today, I want you to let me know which Power Rangers was your favorite. Are you a Mighty Morphin guy like me, or did you get all the way into all the other stuff like Lost in Space and stuff? Whatever it was, comment below and let me know. Now, as always, if you liked this video and you thought it rocked, like, comment, and subscribe to see more from me, Mike Proc. Later.